Hello and welcome to the Midlife Purpose Show, where women 40 and over tap into their true calling and step into a career that is aligned with their purpose in life. Hello, I'm Unique Said, your host. I specialize working with women in midlife to help them navigate life transitions so they can create the purposeful and satisfying life they want. Today, the topic of this episode is how do we balance dealing with a new career or a new career path and our personal responsibilities, especially when we are in midlife. So, we'll talk about first the challenges. Challenge number one, overwhelming with responsibilities, especially when we are in midlife. We have uh, life experience, responsibilities, personal responsibilities in our life that we're dealing with. For example, when we reach a certain age, we have aging parents or aging relatives that we might have to help with elder care. Also, you might have grandchildren that you whom you help their parents with sometimes. So there's a balancing act, but yet you're still working. So you have your work responsibility as well. And when you are transitioning into a new position, in that situation is context. It increases the challenges. It puts a little bit more weight. So, first thing to do is to have clear boundaries. So definitely you have to have clear boundaries on time that is dedicated for work, your personal life, also your responsibilities. So have them in set the time for those activities and respect them and honor that. So have clear boundaries. Okay, this is work, and after a certain time, work is put aside, and you go dealing with your personal life or your other responsibilities. But you have to have clear boundaries to avoid burnout. As I said, we have a bag that is a lot heavier than when we were young in our younger years. So we need to um, take care of ourselves. Second, and it's aligned with what I'm saying, just said, managing multiple priorities. Again, we don't realize that. I think we're so busy doing what we're doing that we don't see what's ahead. We just do. We don't plan. We just go with the flow on a catch up mode sometimes and run, and we're out of breath, so to speak. Tired. I was just saying, first thing first is really to be aware of that and plan in consequences accordingly. Whether you have a journal or you have a planner or you have sticky notes that are organized, whatever works for you to set priorities in what you're going to do. Whether it's in I think it's a lot easier when we are at work for some reason, but when we have to incorporate our personal lives, that's when we don't apply those principles. So the principles that we apply at work to keep an organized day, to have our priorities set in the right order, is also applicable in our day-to-day lives. This way, you also will feel like you've made progress, whether it's a task that you want to do at home, a project, whether it's at home or at work. If you are organized and you have your priorities set in the right order, that you have efficiently prioritized the task, you will see progress. And this will also give you a sense of accomplishment and calm. You will not be in that mode where you are chasing and wondering what you're doing or what you've accomplished, and at the end of the day you feel like you've been so busy and yet I've not accomplished anything. Challenge number 3, and that's is something we often talk about: self-care. Self-care is not a luxury. It's not being frivolous. It's a question of taking care of our well-being. And when we talk about self-care, it's also applicable at work. For example, if you are at work, and then, like I said, you're starting a new career, you're in a new phase, and we have a tendency to feel like we are out of sort, or the imposter syndrome comes into play sometimes because we might have some self-doubt thinking, oh my gosh, it's so late in my life, I made that change, am I up to it? Second guessing ourselves, and for that, maybe overcompensating and not taking time for a break, or spending so much time trying to catch up and know it all to be up at the top of our game right off the bat, because we were before making that transition to a new world, to a new career. Be aware of that. Be consistent, but yet allow yourself to have some time to decompress, to regroup, to step away, to get a break and rejuvenate, I should say. So you have to remember that you are coming from a place of experience. Although it is a new career path, something new to you, that means that there's growth for you. And also the application of all the experience that you've acquired along the way. So that's a plus. So come from that mindset. Yes, it's new, and you have a learning curve, and also that your past experience will help you with that to move forward. So give yourself grace. Make sure that you take time for yourself. Take your breaks. This my attitude of workaholic and working through your lunch hour or not taking breaks and staying late is not productive. It can be counterproductive. Have you ever heard of the law of diminishing result? The more you do, the less you produce, because you are worn out. You're not as efficient. Yet, if you were to take the time for yourself, some self-care, go for a walk at lunchtime, or step away for a bit, take a break. That is the purpose of a break. So we talk about self-care at home. There's also self-care at work. And last but not least, ask for help. Because often the challenge that especially women have with all the hats and balls we have in the air is that we feel alone in our journey. We are so busy doing what we're doing. And also, there is sometimes that posters or that feeling that we're not enough. We always want to do the best for everybody else. So because we might have a tendency to think that way, we don't want to ask for help. Oh, I can do it. I can do it all. I've done this. I've got this. There's nothing wrong by reaching out to friends. Even sometimes if it's for a friendly listening ear. But don't feel like you have to do it all alone, that you have to go through those challenges and figure it out all by yourself. Reach out to friends, to families, to your network. If you have a group, if you belong to a group, a network, people that you're comfortable with, to whom you can share. Often that is a big challenge because, as I said, we feel that because we have reached this point in our life, that maybe that change was not the wise change to do because it's so late in our life. It's never too late. And when this lingering feeling is in the back of our mind, it gives us that impression that we have to show that we are capable, that we can do it all, that we don't need any help. I've got this. But everybody needs help at one time. Doesn't matter what stage in your life you are, it's okay to ask for help. And you will benefit from it. And also think about it. If you share something that's not necessarily troubling you, that you're pondering about, you might be teaching something to whomever you're talking to about it. You know, when we have a conversation and brainstorming, ideas come out on both sides, both parties. So it could be beneficial for them as well. You don't know. But you don't need to be alone and feel isolated, because when we feel isolated, that leads us to feeling blues and maybe lead to depression. We don't need to do that. So lastly, what I'd like to say is that balancing a new career and all the responsibilities that we already have in our lives because we accumulated so much knowledge and experience doesn't have to be daunting. It can be challenging, and at the same time, it can be uplifting. It's all a question about how you deal with the challenges that we just talked about, and those tips that I gave you in how to overcome those challenges. So, balancing in your career or life path, whether you change career or you change the course of your life, with the personal responsibilities that you already have, yes, can be challenging, but with the right strategies that I shared with you and that you also can figure out for yourself, that's something that works for you, you can navigate those transitions successfully. Importantly, one thing that's very important, by setting clear boundaries to prioritize your tasks, whether at home or your responsibilities outside of the work, your personal responsibilities. And don't forget to practice self-care, not just at home, but at work as well. And seek support when needed. Remember that. So thank you for joining me today on the Midlife Purpose Show. And if you found this episode helpful, please like and comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if something I want to remind you is that you have the power of resilience and to balance your new path with your personal life in equilibrium. So until next time, keep moving forward and embracing your journey. You've got this. Bye.